Welcome, creators. Excited to show you my particular way to lay out a page. I'm going to take an example from our Deacons Alliance series, break down one of the action pages, and kind of show you our method today. So our goal, always starting with a page, is to move the story along, and you want to guide your audience in the direction that you want them to go in. Now, you can do this by moving their eyes from left to right. You can do a reverse S or a Z pattern, or you can complicate it depending on how much action you're doing. But today I just want to demonstrate a very easy vertical line. We're going to do horizontal panels, breaking them down, probably 4 panels on this page, and we're going to move the reader and the storyline directly from top to bottom, a nice simple flow. So David and I work from a script. We've scripted our story, we have it broken down, and I always start with our word balloons and text boxes when I'm looking at my blank page. And I've got them laid out right now. Basically, I know where the story starts at the beginning of this page, and I know where it's ends. So I know where I have to begin from and where I'm ending. And I'm going to move the reader nice and easy through this little primrose path down through the text boxes and word balloons, so that they reach the end of the page, the end of this story that this page is going to reflect seamlessly and in a very a pleasant journey, let's put it that way. So let's talk about the tools that we'll need today. And we are working with Clip Studios. That's our software of choice. Of course, a lot of other softwares are out there. If you're a creator using a different software format, that's fine. You'll find a lot of the same tools within your software suite, I'm sure. I like to start out with a real pencil. It's got a great texture. It's also set up with a nice taper. I usually do my thumbnails with this one, and it's got a lot of versatility to it. I set it about 20, I think, size-wise, the brush size down there, and that works well for me. Next, I'll also use the darker pencil. I use that for a lot of outlining, a little more definition is required. That's a really good pencil to move with. Again, about 20 size for the brush size. Next, the lighter pencil is also good for some more detailing, little cross-hatching type things. Also just adds a little depth to your thumbnails and your finished pencils. The mechanical pencil is next. I use this now really for the tight cross-hatching. It's a really good pencil. It has no texture to it, and it's a good finished pencil to play around with, and adds, again, more variety to your line work. And then finally, the final pencil that I use, the rough pencil, is really good. It's got great texture, shading, kind of smooths things out nicely, and I find it is very useful. Now, the other tool that I use in this process is the kneaded eraser. This is excellent. Background clouding. It just tones down some of the darker areas, gives you some nice gray shades, and you'll find that useful as well in your creative process. So the advantage of working with a script is that I can get a mental picture of where I need to start and where I need to end. And as I mentioned, we're going to break this down into 4 panels to tell this particular story. And I want a good establishing shot in the beginning, panel 1. I'm going to go ahead and make this rather large. We're taking up about 1/3 of the page. And I also, thinking ahead, I'm going to want a really nice, what I call and David calls a feature panel, which won't have a frame. It will encompass the entire part of the page, and it will be a big establishing shot of all the characters on the page. Panel 1 will have our hero Deacon. We'll also have our Rougarou, Jonesy, and Marcel as they're battling vampires. Panel 2 will be a close-up of the vampires charging them. The feature panel will establish where all of that is together in one frame, and a big establishing shot. And then panel 4 at the bottom, our concluding panel, will show the conclusion of this particular story and where our script lies, leading us into the next page. So now that I have my frames laid out, I'm going to go ahead and mute the text, kind of get it out of the way and let my mind kind of flex and the creative juices flow here. And we're going to start our thumbnails. And I kind of do somewhere between sketchy thumbnails and sort of beginning drawings. Some guys do stick figures, some guys do real sketchy. This is kind of where I block things out. I use the real pencil to do this with, and I usually set it on about 20 setting. You use the setting that's best for you, and you can go darker, lighter. I mean, it's strictly your preference at this point. I have an establishing shot now. There's Deacon in the foreground with his pistol drawn. I'm kind of wanting to go for a pyramid look here, to where the angle of the gun gives us a nice kind of a header at the top of the page. And you can see where I've left room for the text on either side, either perimeter of the panel. We have our Rougarou, Jonesy is in the center there, and he's throwing vampire over the top. Gives some nice action. There are a couple of vampires that have been vanquished down there at the bottom. And then Marcel is facing off with his crossbow. And we have our protagonist, the Crimson Guard, coming in right now from the right side of the page. They'll be silhouetted. So they're approaching, and our heroes are getting a little desperate at this point. They're running low on ammunition, as our text had indicated. And that brings us to panel 2. I want to feature the attackers that we see in the right-hand corner off in the horizon there, panel 1. And this is the close-up of our attacking vampires. They're Crimson Militia, fully revealed there, as these are the guys coming at our heroes. Now that brings us to our second establishing shot, the big feature panel. And we want to pull the camera out. I want to encompass all of our elements right now. We have Eli, who is in the center of the panel. In a previous page, Eli stepped out into this little swamp area. He's still about thigh deep in the water. We are seeing creatures emerge from that swamp. They're going to assist in the battle on the side of the Alliance. We have in the foreground now, there's Marcel with his crossbow, and we've got the Rougarou and Deacon. So now we see from the perspective of just behind Eli where everything lays. And then the silhouetted figures at the top of the feature panel are the attacking vampires, which we have the feature of them in the panel above. So everyone is in position now. And in this particular scene, Eli, who is in the swamp there, he's having a power surge that's coming up out of the water, according to the script, and it's enveloping him. So I've got some little lightning bolts kind of just indicating some power surges, which we will detail in later. And you'll see the power surge, and with our coloring and everything, it will be very evident that he's being charged up like a super biocharged, ever-ready battery. The ghost-like figures that are coming to assist him are rising up out of the water, and that leads us now into panel 4, where Eli's supercharged power erupts out of his fingers, and he's shooting them towards the attacking vampires. That will take us up to the next page, and this gives us a nice big conclusion here to our story. And to just put a stamp on that, I've included a big sound effect behind the eruption of this energy coming up through his feet from the water and surging through Eli's body and releasing from his hand, and that will be discharged into the attacking vampires. So now that we've had fun laying this page out and we can see where it's going from top to bottom, you just take a look at the eye flow. I'll go ahead and pull the text back in, and we'll see how that works with everything. So we're reading from left to right. First 2 word balloons are nice and easy to follow. Then I've got a direct line down through the close-up of the attacking vampires, easily enough to follow the storyline. And then the final text box down here at the bottom. No problems with word flow. And then it all works well together, hand in glove, with our breakdown thumbnails. So at this point, now we really start having fun by doing some finished pencils. And what we'll do is we'll bring those in for panel 1. And I've used a combination of all the pencils in order to do this. You see my thumbnails are coming out over the top there, and we'll fade those out to where you can see the actual detailed tight pencils that I want to turn over to David as he does his inks, and then he'll do his colors once he adds those. And again, the term hand in glove is very fitting on the way David and I work this together. So now that we have it at this point, I wind up going back through doing finished pencils all the way through the page, and then I'm getting close to the handoff. And I think right now we'll step away, and in our next episode, we'll discuss the handoff to David as he begins to ink, and then we talk about the colors and where we want to go with the colors, textures, and the final wrap-up of the page. It's a lot of fun sharing this with you guys. Can't wait to show you what we do for the final process. Have fun and create bravely.